Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for that delay, but I am your host for today's broadcast, Insane Layer 13, as we are about to get underway here for round 4 of IESC GT Championship. Slightly smaller field today, but we should still be looking at interesting round with strategy in today's fight. Alright, there we are. That actually worked a little better than I thought it would. So real quickly, we'll go ahead and look at the drivers confirmed. It looks like we may only have 14 people show up. I know 15 people tried to qualify, but one of them may have had to leave. So of our drivers today, PM221 is representing the Acura camp in today's event. AMS Merckx is in the Chevrolet. AMS Mead 212 is in the Lexus. AMS Andrew 14 is in the Aston Martin Vantage. Ludicrous Speed is another Chevrolet representative. SRD Shredder is in the Mercedes AMG. PTG J Caesar is in the BMW. TFB Matter is in the Lexus. RZM Valkyrie is in the Acura. PTG Lil Caesar is in the BMW. Cam Worthy is also in the BMW. Grand Wolf is in the Chevrolet. RZX U5 is also in the BMW. Prius Killer 8110 is also in the BMW. So BMW is proven to be very popular, despite the fact that it is Acura and only RZM Valkyrie who has won all of the races thus far this season. So 14 might get bumped up to 15 right at the last minute, but it looks like we'll have a 14 car field, so a pretty precipitous drop off. Yeah, it looks like we only have 14 people running. That's more than a bit of a shame. Seems like we have some issues going on the circuit here. Of course, as usual, RZM Valkyrie is the driver who's going to be starting in first in today's event. He'll be alongside him will be the Caesars, father and son. Little Caesar looks like he's going to be third. PTG J Caesar is looking like he is starting second, and then J Caesar will be starting third. AMS Me looks like he is going to be in the cards for a 4th place start today. RZX U5 back here is going to be 5th. Camworthy is going to be 6th. Grand Wolf looks like he'll be in the 7th position. 8th will be AMS Beast. 9th will be Prius Killer. 10th should be Ludicrous Speed, followed by Merckx, who will be in 11th, PM221. No, AMS Andrew will be 12th, then PM221, and then TFB Matter will also round out the back of the field with them. And that should round out the field. right, just getting information checked real quickly. So yeah, right now in the championship, RZ and Valkyrie has taken home max points. There are no bonus points now. All bonus points have been stripped from this title. It's just in result finishes. Valkyrie, who has won all 3 races thus far this season from the pole. It's not looking like anyone's going to be able to challenge him unless he starts missing races. So for everyone else, it's just going to be a matter of trying to figure out a way around Valkyrie to actually fight him. Valkyrie is going to have the inside, while it's going to be PTG Little Caesar will be on the outside. Now, throughout the prior races, it was J Caesar, Caesar the Elder, who was putting on a stronger fight against Valkyrie. This time it is Little Caesar. Valkyrie has 1 Caesar on his outside, 1 right behind him. And then AMS Mead looking like he might be able to steal 1 more podium here today as they all come out of the final corner. It's 2 by 2, 7 rows back, 15 car field in total as they come to the line. Green flag here at Laguna Seca. You can see Mead looks to the outside, but there's just no room out there. In fact, there's really barely even room to go side by side through the hairpin with how obsessively large the GT cars are. Valkyrie just puts a little bit of pressure on Little Caesar, and immediately he's scooted away. And unless something really abnormal happens, he's going to walk off with the win here. We know that the fight is basically going to come down to a fight for 2nd through 4th between Mead and the Caesars. And speaking of Mead, he has already dropped from 4th, dropping 2 tires in the dirt. He has fallen behind RZXU5 and has now got Cam Worthy on his outside. He will keep Cam Worthy behind him for just the moment. That is Prius Killer, who's running just a little bit farther behind here. Oh, and that is U5, who drops 2 tires onto the dirt. He'll keep the car on track for the moment, but this lets Mead get a chance to make a move. They're 3 wide going into the corkscrew. Someone's going to get knocked off track. And yes, someone did, but that was way farther back. I believe that was Shredder. Mead holds on to 5th, and RZX barely is able to maintain 4th, while Cam Worthy stays in 6th position. Grand Wolf is back there in 7th. Last week at Suzuka, Grand Wolf pulled off a podium finish off the back of making 1 fewer stop than everyone else here. But at the front of the field, it is RZ and Valkyrie already a 2nd up from the Caesars as father and son run nose to tail in 2nd and 3rd. And that's Caesar the Elder, who drops 2 tires into the dirt. But Little Caesar is not close enough to make a move. And again, one of the big issues with Laguna Seca, this circuit is really, really tight and narrow. The GT3 cars have gotten ridiculously large over the last 10 years. It's very hard to go side by side in any of these corners now. This is likely not going to be a race decided by many on-track battles. In fact, I would anticipate that most of this race, after about lap 1, will be decided by just positioning and keeping your instants and your mistakes to a minimum. Meanwhile, in a fight for 9th, 10th, and 11th, field is still a little bit bunched up here for the moment. See a BMW and the Chevrolet right on top of each other. Prius drops tires into the dirt. Not enough room, though, for Mercs to try and make a move for that position, though. Cam Worthy gets by Mead, so as Mead continues to slowly dribble away lap time, it seems, here in these early parts of the race. He is trying to fight back. But Cam's got the draft. Does he make a dive into the hairpin? No, the Lexus runs defensively, and just by denying the driver behind you the inside, the apex, at the center of the corner, you basically deny them any shot to get by you here, as the circuit is just so narrow and these cars are so wide. Alright, and now they come uphill once again. This is the closest we have to a serious fight in the top 10 right now. Oh, big hit on the curbs there by Mead, and Cam Worthy avoid the curbs. He just stays nice and confidently behind the Lexus. The BMW looks to the outside. He drops some tires into the dirt there. No move possible. Circuit's just not wide enough to make a no move. Cam just has to put as much pressure on Mead until Mead makes a mistake, and then Cam has to move through before Mead merges back onto the circuit. He got really close there, but ended up being Cam who made the mistake. And now they've got Grand Wolf behind them. Right now, North Wolf as he watches this fight between a Lexus and a BMW just ahead of him. Cam looking to the outside. Meade knows that Cam can have the outside as much as he wants, but these cars will give him the advantage, having the inside coming out of the hairpin. The good news for Cam is that he can be on the outside as long as he doesn't lose a position here to Wolf. He can continue to put pressure on Meade and try to make Meade make a mistake here. Meade on the outside, Cam looking to the inside, tries to lunge for the corner, but the Lexus is just a little bit too smooth into the braking zone. Uphill, fast left-hander, can't really go side by side through there because of that big curve on the inside. Cam's got the draft off to the Lexus, uphill, heavy under the brakes. Cam's gonna take a wider entry, trying to round out momentum on the way out, and Meade's made a mistake, and now Cam comes to the outside. They're side by side, but Meade still has the ideal line of choice. He does drop a tire into the dirt, but there's nowhere for Cam to get by. Wolf gets right up behind Cam. Now Cam looks to the outside, but again, it's not possible to make an outside overtake here in most of these corners. But Meade is most definitely cracking under pressure from Camworthy, and Grand Wolf runs right behind. Uphill now, Cam looks to the outside. Now he gets back in line behind Meade. Does he make a dive? He swings the car to the inside, but can't slow the car down enough to make a dive. He does, however, get side by side as Meade runs a little wide, coming out of the hairpin. Meade will have just barely enough acceleration. Cam continues to put pressure on him, and Grand Wolf is held up behind him as well. And just behind Grand Wolf is AMS Works as well. So the longer and longer these two stay on top of each other, the more and more likely we'll see drivers 8th all the way back to potentially even 12th come into play. Now Wolf is going to move to the outside of Cam as Cam drops tires into the dirt. He also runs over the curb. Wolf gets a little bit of a touch from behind. Up the hill. So Merckx is now putting pressure on Wolf. All these drivers caught up behind AMS Meade at the moment. There is no fight for positions outside of this little fight here, and then farther back from about 11th and 12th. This is where the battles are concentrated at. Meade moving inside, outside, trying to maximize his grip. Cam now runs over the curve again. He's going to kill his momentum. Gets right behind, nose to tail in the second to last corner. Run down to the final corner. Cam is not close enough to make a dive bomb in the final corner. All three cars bounce over the curb, and it is Wolf who's the worst out of it. And now we'll see Merckx probably try and get a run up on the inside. Grand Wolf shuts the door. Cam makes a move to the outside of Meade now. Realizes you can't make a move on the outside here. Falls back in line. As long as Meade is able to keep the car under him and doesn't slide off circuit in an area that lets Cam get by, then Meade can fight this battle all day long without problems here. You can see as the field now running up to the hairpin, well, the carousel, not the carousel, the corkscrew. Credit where credit is due to RZX, who has made his way past Lil Caesar. You can see that fight from about 5th to 9th, all those drivers right on top of each other. Uphill, 5 cars, all pretty much nose to tail, trapped up behind AMS Meade at this point in the event. Here comes Cam, tries to lunge it to the inside to make contact. Meade shuts the door. Cam was already there, ends up hitting the inside curb, but that sort of aggressive defense might be what you need to do. But Meade, absolutely out of his element right now, struggling massively with this field behind. Again, tires just briefly touching the outside dirt. But Cam is not in a position to lunge. These cars are too big. You can't go side by side in these corners. And we've seen the few times Cam has tried to lunge or tried to go on the outside, it just kills his momentum. He needs to make Mead make a mistake. Mead needs to drop the 2 tires off circuit in an acceleration zone immediately out of a corner. Otherwise, he's just never going to get by Mead here. We did see Cam make a mistake earlier that let Grand Wolf get alongside him. But again, it all just comes down to the fact that if whoever is the closest to having the ideal line through a corner is going to end up in the better position here. And Mead, with no one in front of him, is really in the best position out of all 5 of these cars, despite the fact that he is very obviously way slower than everyone behind him. That clean air, that ability to make your decision on where you want to enter the corner means everything here at Laguna. Bit of a sideways moment there under braking for Mead, but he keeps it together. Like I said, sadly, there's not really any other battles on track except for a fight between AMS Andrew and Ludicrous Speed in 12th and 13th. This is where all the focus is. If, and it's a big if, but if Cam Worthy figures out a way by Mead, it will be open season from about 5th all the way to the 10th position. 6 cars all right on top of each other. Cam runs into Lexus's draft, cannot figure out a way by. He needs to make that yellow and black Vassar Sullivan looking Lexus make a big mistake on the exit of a corner. If it's in the entry, maybe you could make it work, but he ideally needs to have a big mistake on corner exit, so he can't put the power down. Now, real quickly, I want to go ahead and look at the tire life, or the tires right now. So 21.5 tires for Mead at the moment. For Cam, who was right behind him, 30. So yeah, it seems to me like Mead's probably on a harder medium tire compound right now. Here's a dive. This might have been it. That was enough to get him alongside, but now Mead will do a crossover, and there's nothing you can do to defend against a crossover. Really, really squirrely farther back, though. And it is AMS Mercs now who has ended up getting by Grand Wolf. Wolf got knocked sideways in the hairpin, and these 4 have kind of fallen off from Cam and Mead. So now Mercs moves up into 7th. Oh, and Prius goes off. Prius goes off, and that will let PM and potentially even Grand Wolf get a run. Grand Wolf looks to the inside of PM, but can't make it stick. But now Mercs is in 7th. And PM runs in 8th now with Grand Wolf right behind him. But Cam had that big run on Mead. All right, real quickly, as we see another big run coming from the BMW. He looks to the outside, nearly dead heat under braking. But again, that Lexus will have the ideal line through. Cam gets the car a little bit twisted up, coming downhill through the corkscrew. Oh, here's the dive! Big run! He just lunged it in there and he's got it! And Cam has got it! Cam moves into the 5th position now. And Mead now slips to 6th, and that will put him under pressure from AMS Mercs, as Cam will now get a chance to open up. I thought that Mead might have had what it took to just keep Cam behind him, but that does not seem to be the case. Looking real quickly, you can see that Mercs is in the 36%, so he is also on the soft tires. Real quickly, though, as we look at our leaders at this stage of the event, RZM Valkyrie, he is running on 40% tires, so we're almost guaranteed that he is on the softs. For PTG J Caesar, 38%, so he's actually doing a little bit better on tire life today than Valkyrie is. That could have some interesting benefits for him later in the event, but he is not close to do anything. 3rd place, RZX. He is currently in the 38% tire life range, so it looks like Valkyrie is burning through his tires a little more than ideal at the moment. PTG Little Caesar, who is in 4th right now, he is in the 40% range, so he has some of the worst tire life of everyone in the top 4. And then Cam, we know that he's on the soft tires, but he now has something that a lot of other drivers don't have. He has a lot of clean air. He was already pulling away from Mead. Mead now dealing with dirty air, and the fact that he is on slower, though harder tires, is forcing him to drop back. Oh, a little bit of touch from Merckx from behind. Merckx has the outside, Mead inside. Neck and neck into the final corner, but Mead with the inside line advantage will hold the position. This fight that had gone from 5th to about 9th is pretty significantly broken up. PM221 and AMS Beast have completely lost touch with this fight, and Mead just completely loses the corner, and Merckx goes through with almost no issue. Now Merckx is going to end up going too wide on exit though, but they're still side by side. Merckx sends it, going into turn 3, drops tires into the dirt, slides just in front of the Lexus. He'll hold the position for now. Merckx has clean air. Mead is right behind. He's got a draft. And TFB Matter has dropped out of the event, it would appear. Uphill, Mead struggling to do anything against Merckx. It looks like those medium tires just kill your ability to make any use of track position early on. You just hemorrhage time, and all these drivers that you can't get by here, you're gonna have to figure out a way by them at some point. Now Mead should have an advantage in the latter stages of the event. He'll be on soft tires, and everyone else will be on either soft tires that are a lot more worn, or will have to be on a harder tire compound. But right now, this is not looking good for Mead. Interesting little scenario for 3rd and 4th. It does look like Little Caesar is closing in on RZX U5. U5 has not been able to make many of the races thus far this season, but right in a podium position is pretty solid. And both RZX and Little Caesar both dropped tires into the dirt there. So we should be anticipating our leaders coming into the pit lane at nearly any time. I would imagine, at least. 46%. If you want to run out to about 55 to 60% on your tires, what, another 3 laps, 4 laps or something? Maybe around lap 16, 17 is when I would anticipate we'll see a lot of these drivers make their first pit stop. Doesn't seem like Little Caesar's in a position to fight RZX. He's just content to run in RZX's draft at the moment. Merckx has pulled away from Mead for a bit, and now Mead will find himself under threat from PM221 very shortly here. Prius Killer in 13th is making a pit stop relatively early here. Bit of a drop into the tire, into the dirt by Merckx. Again, fight for 3rd and 4th seems to be the more interesting one at the moment. Little Caesar has burned through his tires a little bit more aggressively than U5, but U5 does not seem to have the pace to hold his position over Little Caesar at the moment. Prius Killer has now completed his pit stop, but he is a lap down now, the first driver to do so. Go a lap down. Nose to tail, but again, no move from Little Caesar this time around. He actually ends up going a little wider than RZX mid-corner, trying to straighten out the exit. It did not work, though. We hit that section of the circuit where the inside curbs drop off, and that killed his initial ability to accelerate. Both U5 and Little Caesar dropped tires. Both of these drivers, they seem to be making a lot of small mistakes that are all adding up, and that's the big reason why 15 laps into the event, these drivers are over 9 seconds out from our leader, RZ and Valkyrie. Valkyrie has just not put a single tire on all day long. go. And there we are. Second, third, and fourth all pitting now. But Valkyrie staying out. So with our leader staying out, this is going to be really interesting. He's at 58% tire life. We saw this play out at Suzuka, despite the fact that Valkyrie was honestly doing better on his tires than Jay Caesar was. Valkyrie going this extra lap will put him in a better position later in the event, as long as he doesn't overtax this rubber. Now, he is trapped behind Prius Killer, so I was wrong. I thought Prius Killer had gone a lap down. He is not a lap down yet, so Valkyrie will have to deal with traffic ahead of him. Caesar, RZX, and Lil Caesar all drop out of the top 10 with that pit stop. So in that scenario, Valkyrie is going to have to deal with at least lap traffic in the form of Mead. But I don't know if he's going to have much more traffic he'll have to deal with once he does make his stop. He's going to stay out for another lap. So this is 2 laps that Valkyrie is going to have on soft tires compared to the rest of the field. And we know he's on soft because of how quickly he's wearing them. But he just doesn't care. He seems to be able to maximize the tires when they are more worn than everyone else. So as long as he doesn't push it over a limit here, he should be in good position. Camworthy, AMS Mercs, they're both going to pit. So now we'll see AMS Mead move up into second position. PM221 is also going to go ahead and pit out of the 5th spot as well. Now this does help drivers like PTG, Jay Caesar, RZX, and Lil Caesar. Will let them get some of those positions back, so they won't be trapped behind as many drivers. But all these guys who went 1 lap farther on the rubber now will be in a good position later in the event. The farther you go on the rubber now, you do not have to pay the piper late in the event when your tires are falling off and everyone else is faster than you. And that is the main thing that let Valkyrie pull off that big dominant run at Suzuka, and it looks like it's what is going to let RZ and Valkyrie do the same thing here. I'm curious to see how much longer he stays out. I will say, interestingly enough, he is not closing on Prius Killer by a massive amount. He is staying about the same gap behind Prius. I don't know if he's just managing his pace to not burn his tires up, but here we are. Prius is now going to go ahead and make his pit stop. So this now puts AMS Mead, or should put AMS Mead at or very close to the front of the field. The big thing is that Mead lost time fighting with other drivers. He is on medium tires, so he can stay out on this rubber for a little longer than everyone else. Valkyrie is in the pits right now, and the gap from Valkyrie to the drivers he was fighting is massive on the circuit. But here's the other thing. At Laguna Seca, pit lane has been redone to mimic what it is in reality. You do not just jump onto the start-finish line straight. The moment you get out of the box, you now have to properly do the really tight infield U-turn through turn 2. Mead has just passed Valkyrie. Now, Valkyrie will get some of this time back by taking that pit lane exit road, lets him cut turn 2 a bit, but this has put AMS Mead now at the head of the field. And Beast and Grand Wolf also, for the moment, end up ahead of Valkyrie. In fact, Ludicrous Speed is also going to be ahead of Valkyrie by the looks of it. Valkyrie still hasn't gotten to the circuit. He is now. Valkyrie now into the circuit. He is in 6th place, and that gap between himself and PTG Jay Caesar is insurmountable. He has gone farther, and despite Caesar having 2 extra laps on fresher rubber than Valkyrie did, Valkyrie has actually opened the gap up even more. The gap is now 6 seconds between Valkyrie and Caesar. So unless Valkyrie gets tied up behind traffic in a very bad way, Valkyrie basically has this race won by default. Same thing that we saw at Suzuka. The big thing that really is letting Valkyrie do this is that this car, I don't know if it's the car or if it's his special tune that he has on the thing, but it is very, very calm and very nice to the tires when the tires are worn out. Valkyrie can go soft, 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 soft as much as he wants. He's able to get far more grip out of the tires way longer than anyone else can. Now, right now, Valkyrie is about 2 seconds behind Ludicrous Speed, and Ludicrous is about a second behind, almost 2 seconds behind AMS Andrew, who is also 2 seconds behind as well. riding on board Valkyrie here. Now, unlike when he was running behind Prius Killer, right now Valkyrie is closing the gap between himself and Ludacris at a pretty respectable rate here. Again, last week at Suzuka, credit where credit is due, BTG Jay Caesar was right behind Valkyrie, but it was when they were gaining around Ludacris speed that basically put any nail in the coffin of anyone catching Valkyrie. Valkyrie caught Ludacris speed in the hairpin at Suzuka and accelerated out without problem. Jay Caesar could not follow suit. It took Jay Caesar nearly 2/3 of a lap to get around Ludacris speed, and that opened the gap from just 1.2 seconds to over 5 seconds, and it effectively ended any shot at the race win for anyone who wasn't Valkyrie. Now we see Valkyrie looking at 2 cars ahead of him here. Oh, big! He missed the braking zone. Valkyrie missed the braking zone there. What a very, very rare mistake by Valkyrie. And now you look at the timesheet. Caesar is now within 5.5 seconds. It's not a lot, but a little bit could bring this race into play. Especially if Valkyrie is struggled and is not able to get by these cars ahead of him. Mead, who has an 11-second lead over the rest of the field, trying to do the same strategy that brought Wolf a monumental podium finish last week. And here comes Valkyrie. He lunges to the inside of Ludacris speed, but the track closes up before he can make it stick. They accelerate out of the turn 2 hairpin, now into turn 3. There's just no room. The circuit is really narrow. The GT cars are too wide. And again, Ludacris is no slouch either. He is faster for the moment than Andrew ahead of him, but making an overtake is so difficult. Valkyrie has a run on the inside of Ludacris. This might be enough to get by one of these cars. And yes, he's through. Oh, and he's into the dirt. He's into the dirt. Keeps Ludacris behind him, though. But he got into the dirt just for a moment there, and Andrew is into the dirt. And Andrew drops in the dirt, and now Ludacris shoots up to the inside of Andrew. And for Valkyrie, that basically confirms that he is going to win this race simply because traffic is not able to keep the Acura behind. The Acura is too good on acceleration out of the corners. Even when it's knocked slightly offline, it does not matter. The Acura's biggest benefit outside the fact that Valkyrie has a very good setup is that the Acura is too good on acceleration. It beats everything else in the side-to-side fight. And already, Valkyrie is gone. That will pretty much eliminate any fight that he'll have. So now our focus is going to go to what the fight is going to be for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th here. And that fight will be between Jay Caesar, Lil Caesar, RZX, and AMS Mead. Right now, AMS Mead at the front of the field had to fight really hard in the first 15 laps, but now it's clean track for him. But as we look at his tires, 49% is not even hit the 50% mark yet. And if you do the math, if you figure that you can go 15 laps on soft tires here, Mead could try pitting around lap 40 and then also try making his stop to get off the medium tires around lap 25. Now, if you want to push the softs a little farther, he could instead go ahead and pit on lap 23 and run 16 laps instead. Jay Caesar, Lil Caesar, and RZX have all spread out significantly. Jay Caesar is now the one about to come up on this fight between AMS Andrew and Ludacris Speed. Again, you saw we were riding on board with him. It took Valkyrie no time whatsoever to get around Andrew and Ludacris. I mean, yeah, it took Valkyrie no time to get around Andrew and Ludacris. How long will it take Caesar to get by? The navigating of traffic is what killed Caesar last time. He's caught Andrew at about the same point that Valkyrie had caught Ludacris. Right behind the Mercedes here. Ludacris is pulling away a bit from Andrew. Now here is where Valkyrie had made his first overtake, and here we are. It looks like Caesar is going to replicate. He's to the inside of Andrew, and he is by. He is through. Now this is where Valkyrie made the second overtake, but Ludacris has opened up the gap against Andrew a bit more than when Valkyrie had gone through him. So for Caesar, he's on pace, at least for going by the first driver, but he needs to be faster than that. Just being on pace means he's not going to close the gap between himself and Valkyrie. And again, the big thing is that Caesar is on older tires already than what Valkyrie is on, and Ludacris' speed is pitty. So really, Caesar is only held up for about 1, maybe 2 corners. But again, Valkyrie got by them even faster than Caesar did. Little Caesar did not have to deal with traffic at all, neither did RZX U5. Now, at this point in the event, Valkyrie has already gotten by Grand Wolf and Beast as if they were not even a problem. Now, Mead is 12.5 seconds up the road from Valkyrie. Valkyrie is on soft tires. They're worn a bit, but he is on soft tires while Mead is on worn medium tires. But when Mead goes ahead and pits, and I anticipate he will pit either this lap or the next 2 laps, and will just run soft stints to the end, but Mead will be on better rubber throughout most of the remainder of this race. But Valkyrie is closing on Mead. Yep, Grand Wolf is now paying out 4th, so he is the first person on the medium tires to say, screw this, he's going to jump onto softs. And with that in mind, I'm anticipating Grand Wolf will run 2 sets of soft tires through the remainder of this race. Each set will last for 16 laps on track. RZX is pitting as well, so RZX was up with the Caesars, so I wonder if RZX may have taken damage or something. But this will basically take him out of contention for a fight for the podium position here. So it looks like it will be the Caesars trying to fight AMS Mead. And Mead, the gap between himself and Valkyrie has dropped. It is now only 10.5 seconds right now. Looks like Mead is trying to pay the piper early. He is at 57% tire life on his right front on the mediums at the moment. How long is Mead going to stay on this? If he pits now, he can probably make 1 set of soft tires last 15 laps, 1 set last 16 laps. If he stays out for another lap, he can go 2 stints on the softs, 15 laps each. Does he pit? Does not look like it. He will stay out again. So again, I'm anticipating Mead will make 2 stints, 15 laps each here. A little bit of a fight for 3rd and 4th as Jay Caesar has caught AMS Beast here. Beast pulled off a 4th place finish at Suzuka, running long on mediums early in the event. Jay Caesar right behind now. He looks to the inside. They're going to be side by side as they come across the start-finish line uphill, but Jay Caesar has the inside line advantage, so he should be able to make this move stick without too much issue as long as he doesn't blow the corner. And yep, he's through. Beast has no recourse on worn-out medium tires. Valkyrie is now within 9 seconds, within 8.5 seconds of Mead. So Mead is trying to play the piper early here. The big problem, though, is that Valkyrie also paid his piper early. He has a slight advantage over everyone else who's on what we believe will be a 3-stop strategy because he went farther on his first stint than everyone else. Yeah, Valkyrie is now within 8 seconds of Mead, so this gap is dropping rapidly. Again, I'm anticipating Mead will pit this lap and will throw on soft tires. No, he stays out again. I don't know why he's staying out for so long. I do not see a way that this strategy works out for him now. Now we're at the position where Mead is going to be harming potentially his final result because of all these bad laps he's turning now. Yes, he has clean air, but his tires just aren't happy anymore. Unless Mead wants to try and maybe run a medium to hard strategy. That was a strategy that got him a podium back at Yaz, but he said then he was not happy. Oh, and Mead drops into the dirt. Those tires are cooked. He should have pitted this lap. He has basically ruined, I think, almost any chance of getting a podium now. He is just hemorrhaging time on the circuit. This is great news for Jay Caesar, though. So the fight's going to be between Mead and Lil Caesar for the third podium position. Lil Caesar running more soft tires more often. Jay Caesar running mediums, but also cutting out an entire pit stop. But I think he has pushed these tires too far, and it's going to be a hard fight for him to the end of this race now. Valkyrie is 4 seconds behind Mead at the moment, and Valkyrie has a 6-second gap. Honestly, it's closer to a 7-second gap over Jay Caesar at this stage of the event. SRD Shredder making his stop, but Shredder after rain. Why is Mead staying out again? I guess Mead wants to try and go for two 14-lap stints on the softs at the end of this event, but he has lost so much ground to Valkyrie. It's just not going to matter. Again, Valkyrie has already made his pit stop, and he has just about caught Mead, and Mead is just hemorrhaging time. Yes, Caesar will be able to run only 14 laps on softs for the remaining stints of the event, but Valkyrie went 16 laps without any problem whatsoever. Mead is fighting a losing battle for the win, obviously, and I think this is going to be so bad it's going to somersault and knock him out of a podium position. The only thing that helps him a bit is that U5 got off strategy, off sequence, and had to pit extremely early. That will help him a little bit. But Valkyrie and also Jay Caesar are just running him down rapidly. Valkyrie is now caught Mead here. Unless Mead can keep Valkyrie behind him for a significant period of time. No, Valkyrie's got the inside already. Is already ahead as they get into the braking zone. Yeah, this fight for the win is over. Any shot that Mead thought he may have had of getting Valkyrie is dead. It's done for. So Mead now is only 6 seconds. He finally gives up. He's finally going to pit, but Valkyrie's already ran him down and caught him. So a fight elsewhere on track. AMS Mercs and PM221 along with Cam Worthy. Cam was fighting in the top 5 earlier, but has just not been able to get through traffic at all. Mercs nearly drops the tire off the road, but here comes PM with the run. PM is in the Acura, and that's the one thing we see. He's able to make these moves when the driver ahead makes a mistake. The Acura just has so much better acceleration than everything else that it just pulls. And that's the big thing with Valkyrie. Yes, Valkyrie is really good at able to keep the tires under him, but even PM, who is in another Acura, gets that same big benefit. When it comes to traffic navigation, the Acura is king because the Acura has better acceleration. If the driver ahead has any mistake or is just slow, the Acura will destroy them in a straight line on the initial acceleration. And that is where most of the overtakes are made nowadays in GT3 racing. It is initial acceleration. Cam Worthy is now going to force his way by AMS Mercs. The top 4, Valkyrie, Caesar, Lil Caesar, and AMS Beast, are basically running a race of their own. All of them are at least 20 seconds ahead of this man here, PM221, who is 5th overall. And now Beast will pit out of the 4th position, so this will move PM into 4th on the racetrack once he gets there. So Mead is now on nice, fresh softs. Now Prius Killer, who's ahead of him, is going to be pitting. You'll see him coming into the box here, but Mercs is only about 3 seconds up the road. Now Mead has paid a significant fine for going so long on these mediums, but he should have a soft tire advantage over everyone who's not Valkyrie to the end of this race. So yeah, the next person for Mead he'll have to work by will be AMS Mercs in the 6th spot. Cam Worthy is there in 5th, just ahead. right on board with Mead. You can see about 4 seconds up the road. A big dust cloud there by Merckx. Merckx is absolutely struggling with these tires. Credit to Grand Wolf. Wolf is on the same strategy as Mead, but he pitted about 4 laps earlier than Mead, and yet he is actually closed in. He used that early pit stop to his advantage, but Wolf is in a position. We'll have to go 16 laps on softs, and just as I was talking good news about Wolf, he goes off circuit, and he's around! Wolf is around! You saw it right there, folks. Wolf into the dirt, into the tire barriers. Is there any damage? No, he's able to keep going. Would have definitely made the race a little more interesting if that did bring damage to him, but it did not. So we stay green for the moment. As Mead now is within 2 seconds of Merckx. Merckx is now losing time to Camworthy rapidly. Mead's still in relatively cleanish air for now, but that's going to go away in this lap. The good news for me, though, is that I don't think he's going to have to be dealing with a lot of traffic to the end of this race. I think just because we have a smaller field, but also a lot of people are on some radically alternate strategies. I don't think Mead's going to have to deal with too much traffic here. We'll have to deal with Merckx. We'll probably have to deal with Camworthy, but I don't think he's going to catch PM. And Lil Caesar is pitting out third, so we're going to see our leaders making their second set of stops here. So where is Lil Caesar going to end up coming out of the pits in relation to AMS Mead 212? Jay Caesar is going to go longer by a lap than Lil Caesar, and Valkyrie, we know he has at least 2 laps in the bag in his favor. Now, potentially, I'm not saying this is the way to go, but potentially Lil Caesar could go ahead and try to run mediums now. The advantage of doing soft, then mediums for Lil Caesar, if he decided to run such a strategy, would be that now the track has rubber, so the track is a little faster if you're on Forza's determined racing line. It's not any faster off the racing line, but also the sun will be a little lower. The circuit should be at its peak temperature. There is a possibility that Lil Caesar could run mediums to the end, and the mediums will be a little bit grippier and a little bit faster now to the end of this race. Again, I don't know if that's going to be a good option or not. We just saw Lil Caesar get passed by Mead. Again, it's an incredibly long pit lane, but Lil Caesar way behind Mead by nature of about 5.5 seconds. And again, I don't know if Lil Caesar's going to be on the mediums or softs, so I'll have to check later. But his father, Jay Caesar, is now making a stop as well. So again, Valkyrie running on the soft tires longer than anyone else. Mead has not caught Merckx at quite the rate I thought he would. So Jay Caesar is about 5 seconds up the row from his son Lil Caesar, and that's about the gap right now between Lil Caesar and Mead. So at the way this is looking, Jay Caesar is going to be right here on top of Mead when they come out of the pits, and Jay Caesar should have fresher rubber. But again, I don't know if they're going to be running medium tires or if they're going to be running softs, and we'll try and make another pit stop after about 12 to 13 laps here. If you want to 3-stop this race, I'm trying to run some mathematics in my head. If I want to 3-stop this race, that would be you could run 4 stints on soft tires, each stint lasting 14 laps, roughly. 1 stint would be 13 laps, but that is a very legitimate strategy if you decide to do so. For a 3-stopper. But for a 2-stopper with one of your stints being medium tires, we'll see. Valkyrie's still out on track right now. AMS Mead sees Jay Caesar just ahead. As I said, Jay Caesar ended up right ahead of Mead, and now Jay Caesar has fresher rubber, but he is going to have to deal with Merckx. And the longer Jay Caesar is trapped behind Merckx, the better of a chance that Mead may have of trying to make something happen against Jay Caesar for the second position. An interesting strategy race here. but one that I think that Mead is going to be on the losing end of after having spent too much time on the mediums early in the event. Valkyrie stays out again. Caesar on the outside of Merckx. Caesar can't get the power down fast enough. Merckx holds position. Mead is right there. It does look like Mead is a little bit more confident with the mediums than on the softs, though. Mead is not tearing through this field at the rate I was expecting him to. Caesar drops tires into the dirt now. Goes to the extreme inside to try to save the car, now falls back in line behind Merckx. Gets a little bit of a run. Merckx blocks the run. Caesar backs out, and that backs him up into Mead. Mead has to back out. Now uphill. Caesar looking to the inside. Merckx gives him the room just enough for him to try and do something. Side by side into the carousel. Not carousel, corkscrew. And he's by. Caesar made it stick. Mead still is not gotten by Merckx, though. He goes to the outside now. And Merckx just lets him go. Merckx does not fight it. Alright, so Mead still runs right behind Jay Caesar, but Jay Caesar is on fresher rubber and has clean air ahead of him. They will both catch up to Camworthy sometime soon, I would imagine. Real quickly, I want to go ahead and look at the tire life. 14% wear on Mead's car for Jay Caesar, who has just come out on the circuit. 8% wear. And for our race leader, Valkyrie, maybe I was wrong. He might be on mediums now. If he's on mediums now. No, he is on softs. Oh my goodness, Valkyrie has cooked his tires. But by cooking his tires this aggressively, this early in the event, I'm going to go ahead and say I think there's a possibility that Valkyrie is going to be able to pit this lap, throw on the mediums, and be absolutely fine to the end of this race. There's Camworthy, and here's the fight for third between Caesar and Mead. Another fight has developed as Little Caesar's struggling to get by Grand Wolf. When does Valkyrie pit? He has not pitted yet. I would imagine that you could probably jump onto the mediums now and run mediums to the end of this race, but he has not decided to pit yet, despite the fact that looking at his tire telemetry, 68%. But he does have 49 seconds over second position right now. Valkyrie is virtually an entire pit stop ahead of the entire field. Whenever Valkyrie does make a stop, he is going to still have the lead by default. He's also put PM and Prius Killer a lap down along with Shredder, as you can see there. This fight between Grand Wolf, though, and Little Caesar continues to be interesting. It seems like Caesar the older, a little bit more confident, a little bit faster than Caesar the younger. Yes, Caesar the younger can belt out some incredible laps, but it seems like the age and experience of Caesar the older lets him get better positions more often in these races. All right, Valkyrie is in the pits now. Now we know he's basically guaranteed to have the race lead still when he comes out of the pits, though. But this will put Shredder back on the lead lap, might briefly put PM on the lead lap as well. So Grand Wolf is right behind Merckx at the moment. But I don't know if he's going to be able to get by very smoothly. Looks to the inside, drag race between a pair of Chevrolets. And yes, he is by, actually out-accelerated him uphill. So we are seeing an interesting fight there where the driver who can get a good acceleration while also jumping to an inside line out of that left hand uphill to the top of the circuit, you can make runs there, but you have to be, I guess the best term I'm looking for is that you have to have more grip so you can maintain your acceleration while also changing lanes running uphill. So now Lil Caesars runs behind Merckx. So right now, Valkyrie is only 3 seconds ahead of Jay Caesar. But Valkyrie has paid his piper. He has paid the toll. Oh, when Merckx and Lil Caesar both go into the dirt there. And that will help out Wolf stay ahead of Lil Caesar. Sideways moment out the back of the BMW there. Interesting enough, Camworthy is within a second of Jay Caesar at this stage of the event. Big sideways moment for Lil Caesar, but he is by Merckx now. Now Lil Caesar gets to go after Grand Wolf again. Now Valkyrie out on circuit. And Jay Caesar is in second, trying to run him down in the BMW. Camworthy is third, and right now, Jay Caesar is faster. I have to wonder, did Valkyrie put on the medium tires? Because if Valkyrie has put on medium tires, then for the moment, Jay Caesar will be faster than him, but Valkyrie will not have to worry about paying again for the rest of this race. Two seconds back is Jay Caesar from Valkyrie. Since this drop of the green flag, we have not gotten to see these two properly battle. But here's the problem. If Jay Caesar gets by Valkyrie, that's great and all, but he needs to get by Valkyrie and open up a gigantic gap so when Jay Caesar makes another stop, he can clear him. 24% tire life for Caesar. Right now, Valkyrie is pulling on everyone who is not Jay Caesar. There's an idea of what the map is. It is completely clear track for Valkyrie and Caesar. About half of the circuit completely clean ahead of them. And Caesar is closing. Drone cam at the BMW in second position. RZX is pitting back there at 8th. PM and Prius Killer are having a bit of a fight between each other for 13th and 14th spot right now. AMS Andrew is about to catch AMS Beast for the moment. Caesar is not really breaking this 1.5 second gap at the moment. Seems to be stuck here for now. But again, my big question is, has Valkyrie decided to jump onto the mediums and run the mediums to the end, or is he on softs? Because if he's on softs, Caesar will eventually pit, and the first driver who make the last pit stop typically will get an advantage to the end of the event. But Caesar will have to pay the piper from pitting early on all of his other stops as well. Camworthy and Grand Wolf in 3rd and 5th are both pitting at the same time now. And Mead, who will end up inheriting the 3rd position, he is on a strategy where he started on the medium and is running soft since. Hamworthy, Grand Wolf, and Merckx all on pit lane at the moment now. Right now, I see Valkyrie winning this without a doubt. My question is just going to be, where are Caesar and Mead going to end up in relation to each other? They're on alternate pit stop strategies right now. I think Mead should have a slight tire advantage to the end of this run. Caesar has track position, though, and getting an overtake done is really hard here. Also, speaking of which, Little Caesar has caught Mead at this point, and this is something else to consider. Little Caesar really sideways. He's been struggling to make overtake stick, but when he's in clean air, he is absolutely one of the fastest, and he is now fighting to get back onto the podium positions. As long as Mead has to defend from Little Caesar, he can't really focus forward to J Caesar. I don't know if Little Caesar is trying one way or not, but I think that this is basically going to give J Caesar an advantage. Because yes, I do think Mead will have a tire advantage to the end of this event. But all this time spent fighting is going to minimize the tire advantage that Mead has. $15 to go. So anyone who wants to run softs to the end of the race is likely considering doing it now. Softs we know can go about 13 to 16 laps here. Now Little Caesar, I imagine, will have to pit sooner rather than later. He's got to run to the inside, side by side for a third position. A little bit of a hip check. He hits the curve. He's all sorts of sideways, but he's through. He's ahead. AMS Mead has acceleration uphill, though. But Caesar has the preferred inside line. Drag race side by side. Mead locks up the brakes just a bit. They're still side by side. They're hooked together. They kept it side by side through the corkscrew. They're still side by side. Little Caesar hip checks him, throws his BMWs all sorts of sideways. He's got the position, though. Incredible dedication from both drivers. But Little Caesar does get it, though. Mead, I imagine, is going to be pitting this lap. Mead has a little bit of trouble getting by traffic there, but it does look like Mead has probably pushed his tires too far. Oh, no. Mead is actually still fine. Is Mead not planning on stopping again? He is at 30% tire life right now. If Mead, maybe I've read Mead's strategy wrong. Maybe he's doing a medium to hard strategy. If that's what he's doing, this could get interesting, because then the question is going to be who at the head of the field is going to be pitting again. We look real quickly at our leader, Valkyrie. Valkyrie is in the 20% range, so I'm positive that Valkyrie is not going to pit again. I'll look at J Caesar, who is running in second. 40%. Oh, Caesar, I hate to say if Caesar needs to pit now. And then Little Caesar. Little Caesar is going to have to pit in the next few laps as well. 13 to go. Ludicrous Speed now pitting farther back. A lot of drivers jumping in, putting on soft tires for their final stint here, but Mead, I think he's doing a medium to hard strategy, a one-stop strat. This strat gave him a podium back at Yas Marina. You know you don't have anything to fight with Valkyrie, you might as well try these kind of zany strategies, minimizing time on pit lane. And we saw when Mead was on the mediums and everyone else was on softs, how long it took everyone to get by. Now they did eventually clear, but it takes so long to get by here that drivers with fresher tires trapped behind them will really be struggling to utilize the advantage of those faster tires. When the second and third place decide to make their final stops. Excuse me. Excuse me, I apologize for that. 4 drivers a lap down at this stage of the event. Look at the map. Valkyrie trying to navigate his way through traffic here. That is ludicrous speed. So from Valkyrie, we're looking at what was a soft, medium strategy here. Mead doing a medium to hard strategy. Little Caesar, I believe, is doing 3 stops, all on softs. And here comes Jay Caesar into the pits. So Jay Caesar is pitting. What about his son, Little Caesar? %. He might want to consider pitting soon. But Jay Caesar in the pits. Now this is going to put him behind Mead. But he will be on faster rubber than Mead to the end of this race. So keep an eye on that. I think the fight might be between the Caesars and Mead for the podium positions. 3 drivers fighting for 2 spots, basically. AMS Beast. I think if he's on mediums, he should be good to go to the end of this event. If he's on softs, he'll be in trouble, though. You can see that blue dot there, just ahead of that number 5. That is Jay Caesar, and we'll see Beast get around him here, going into the hairpin. But again, Jay Caesar gets the advantage of cutting that hairpin a bit, so we'll close the gap back down a bit, but it does look like Jay Caesar's ended up behind AMS Beast at the moment. But he's going to be faster than Beast to the end of this race. Ludicrous now a lap down to your late race leader. Little Caesar now has made his stop, so Little Caesar will now have a tire advantage over his father, Jay Caesar. This will put Mead into second, but Mead is not in any position to fight for this race win. Basically, Valkyrie wins all these races by default because no one can manage tires better than him, coupled with the fact that the Acura has a significant advantage in acceleration, which means that anyone in an Acura will not have to struggle with traffic as much as they should. So the fight's going to be between Beast, Little Caesar, and Jay Caesar, and then all of them trying to run down Mead here. There's Little Caesar right there, and you see him drop behind Jay Caesar, his father. Is a long, slow run out pit lane, and that's Camworthy and Grand Wolf. And if these two get by Little Caesar, that could be devastating for him. Little Caesar's biggest weakness has been getting by other cars. They will not pass him, so Little Caesar will have clean track to the end. 10 laps on soft tires. He can go as hard as he wants, but he will have to get by Jay Caesar and Beast on track, though. And here's the thing, Beast right now is in 3rd, Jay Caesar is in 4th, and Jay Caesar wants the podium positions back. So we're going to go ahead and ride on board silently for 1 lap on board with PTG Jay Caesar. And the closing lap says Laguna as he tries to get by AMS Beast. We'll be silent for 1 lap. time. That was a lap on board Jay Caesar as he has finally cleared Beast. And it's not even been a full lap, and he's already 2 seconds ahead of Beast, basically. So Valkyrie is locked up first. Mead is 32 seconds ahead of Jay Caesar with 7 laps left. You do the math. Jay Caesar needs to close on Mead by about 5 seconds a lap, basically, in order to catch them. I'm going to be 100% honest. That's just, I don't see that happening. I have no doubt that Jay Caesar is 2, maybe even 3 seconds faster than Mead at this stage of the race, now that he's got clean air. But you're not going to close this gap down in enough time, I don't think. Although now it looks like it's down to 31 seconds. Again, you got 6 laps to go. Again, you have to be 5 seconds a lap faster than Mead. And that's just being dead even with him at the line, basically. I don't see that happening. I think Mead, on this one-stop strategy, is going to pull off a podium finish here. I think Jay Caesar is going to pull off third. There is a little bit of an interesting fight that will fall, well, not fall, but develop here shortly between Little Caesar and Beast. Little Caesar has struggled getting by cars all day today. Beast is on worn-out tires, just trying to drag this thing to the end here. You can see there, Beast is on the same one-stop strategy that Mead is on. They're the only drivers running a one-stop strategy. Valkyrie is on the two-stop strat, soft, medium. Jay Caesar and Little Caesar both just cranking out a bunch of runs on the soft tires. It just did not turn out as good as he thought it would today. And then it looks like Camworthy, Grand Wolf, Mertz, and all of them were on single, medium, 2 soft stints in today's event. Again, we're not anticipating anyone else is going to be making any more stops to the end of today's event. Alright, for some reason I can't use the map now. It won't let me zoom out. Let me zoom out on the map, please. Well, Little Caesar has caught Beast. He's on the outside. Big twitch there. Can't complete the pass, not yet at least. This is the fight for 4th position. The podium spots are already locked up. The longer Little Caesar is trapped behind Beast, it will bring Camworthy into play. Got around the outside, side by side into the final corner. He's gonna try a crossover, but AMS Beast had the apex, so he'll accelerate out better. Beast blew the corner though, and now Caesar is gonna get him. Beast blew the corner. And now here comes Camworthy. Little Caesar is through. And now it's Cam trying to get by Beast here in these final moments. Oh, and there's contact! Cam gets into Beast's left rear, turns the car, and now Beast is under threat from Grand Wolf on the way uphill. Grand Wolf is by now on the inside. He's cleared up. And for Beast, the same strategy that Mead's on, but he has to deal with more traffic. It's all falling apart now. Next up for Beast, he'll have to deal with AMS Merckx. Merckx, who has been nothing but a movie, I shouldn't say a movie chicane, it's a bit much, but Merckx has hemorrhaged a lot of time today, but now Merckx may be in a chance to be in the position that everyone else has been dealing with him. He is closing in on Beast, and Beast's tires are cooked in these final few laps. Gap between second and third is closed down to 15 seconds. So Jay Caesar is closing at enough speed that he will catch Mead on the final lap. It is swinging in Jay Caesar's favor, and we'll take a look at that in the last 2 seconds. Grand Wolf and Camworthy are not done. These two drivers are fighting for a 5th place finish here. Little Caesar has cleared them, but these two are not done. It will be BMW versus Chevrolet. Final corner now onto the straight. Chevrolet's got a draft from Cam, but does not look like he's close enough to make a dive. 3/10 out is just not going to do it. Merckx has gotten by Beast. I completely missed that happening. I apologize for that. But Merckx has cleared Beast at this stage of the event. Grand Wolf looking to the inside. Not close enough. But he is there. Looking inside, looking outside. Will he make a dive into the chicane? Not into the chicane, into the corkscrew. No. Oh, whoa, Cam sideways out of the corkscrew, and now around the outside. Grant is going to try to make the rear outside overtake. He tried. He didn't make it work. He ends up hitting Cam in the side. That was the closest we have seen today to a normal outside line overtake, but he could not make it stick. Cam dumps his tires into the dirt coming out of the final corner, and Grand Wolf has a run. He looks to the outside. He's going to try an outside overtake again. It didn't work last time, but he's going for it again. Side by side into the corner. He's going to try the crossover, but does not have the acceleration to make it stick. This also leaves him on the outside in turn 3. He drops tires in the dirt this time. Cam holds position. Grand Wolf tries to swing wide. Now he's got the inside going into 4. Side by side, neck and neck. Cam on the outside can't keep the car together. He drops tires in the dirt. Drag racing into 5 now. Cam inside, Grand outside. Cam throws the car aggressively into the corner. Now Grand Wolf is going to try and crossover. Cam tries to block. Grand Wolf backs out of it. They're right back where they were now. And Grand Wolf drops his tires in the dirt again, killing his run uphill. It is the final lap. In the end, Jay Caesar could not catch Mead. Something went wrong and he's dropped a bunch of time. This is the fight to watch to the end here. Grand Wolf a little bit smoother, coming down the corkscrew this time. Final corner, Cam, how defensive does he go? Not very. Grand Wolf really seems to be committed to making an outside line work, it seems. Grand had a great run out of the final corner. He's got a toe. This could be it. This will be the last time these two go into the final corner here. On the first corner here, Grant commits to the outside. Cam is gonna hold. They tries crossing over, but the BMW is parked right on the apex. No crossover. Meanwhile, out of the final corner, Valkyrie is going to take the victory, but we're not going to change views because this fight is going to come down to the end here. Valkyrie crosses the line and wins. Grand Wolf is on the outside as they come into 5. Camworthy's going to send it in. Wolf tries the crossover again. Cam blocks. Grand Wolf goes even more aggressively to the inside. Does he lunge it? He's going to have to lunge it. He's not going to lunge it. Graham goes a little bit too aggressively, loses momentum, blocks Grand Wolf. Nose to tail. Second place is going to go to IESC. Here comes Grant. Does he make a move? He does. He gets into Cam's rear corner panel. Cam keeps it straight. There's no room to get side by side here, but Grant is absolutely trying. Just 2 corners left. They stay nose to tail in the second to last corner. Cam defends the inside. Graham goes outside. Now Cam forces Grant to take a bad line. Side by side. Drag race out of the final corner. Cam has a tire spin. It'll be a drag race to the checkers. And the 5th place finisher will be Cam. It's just not possible to make an overtake unless the driver ahead makes a big mistake. And when push came to shove, Cam did not make a big mistake. So your finishers. Only the top 9 drivers finished on the lead lap. It is RZM Valkyrie, AMS Mead, PTG J Caesar, PTG Little Caesar, and Camworthy. Alright, hopefully Xbox parties will work. I can actually send invites to people this time. Please work. Please work, Xbox. All right.
Hello?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
I can.
Go ahead, everyone, and include your audio. There should be an option in the Xbox Party to include your audio. I want to go ahead and start with our race winner, RZM Valkyrie. Valkyrie, you are going to destroy this series with this level of dominance. 4 victories from the pole, all in a row here. It looked like, correct me if I'm wrong, it looked like your tire strategy today was soft, medium. What do you have to say about your run today?
Yeah, the race was interesting. It was a tough race. The track likes to throw you off if you're not concentrating. So the race was more about keeping the car on the track rather than ultimate pace, I think. But I went with a triple soft strategy and just eking out the tire life to the end there. I think any strategy could have won that race, honestly. Mead had a great strategy with the 1-stop. Caesar with a 3-stop. You know, maybe a little bit of a faster car could have won that race. So I think it was just almost luck where what happened today. The car, the traffic, the track, it could have gone anyway, I think.
All right. Well, it was a dominating performance, 4 race wins in a row. The only question now when it comes to championship, are you guaranteed to show up to every remaining event in the series?
Not guaranteed. I don't know. I'm hoping to. But right now, it looks promising. But obviously, I don't know what's gonna be happening in 8 weeks' time. So we'll see. I'll do my best.
All right, great job on the performance here. And now I want to go ahead and talk with our second place finisher, AMS Mead. Mead, you had an outstanding drive out there. Again, a single stop strategy gives you another podium run. What do you have to say about that race today?
I hate this track. I don't want to do this track again with these cars. It's horrible. I kind of was meant to go to do a 2-stop strategy, and towards the end of that first stint, I was like, you know what? I'm going to risk it for a chocolate biscuit and just go for a 1-stop. Tyres didn't like it at all, but it's what it is. Well done to Valkyrie on his strategy. Obviously, soft softs is just as hard as doing the medium with tyre wear, so he did well.
Oh, so you went medium. Okay, I guess track rubbering in helps preserve tires way more with these cars than they do with the road cars then, because it looked like you did medium to hard, not medium.
Oh no, I did medium, but trust me, the track rubbering didn't help. The start, it was just keep it on the track. That was it. The rubbering didn't help at all.
Ah. All right. Well, another podium run for you. Championship might not be in play, sadly, just because of Valkyrie's dominance, but this could give you a good run to maybe go for second in points. What are your expectations for the next few races in the season?
See how it goes. Hopefully get a little bit of luck. Maybe Valkyrie might not turn up to one, so we might have a chance. But then again, I don't know if I want to do every single one as well, so we'll see.
All right, great drive out there, mate. Fantastic from the defense to the offense, everything. I look forward to seeing in the future. Now I want to talk to the father-son duo of PTG J. Caesar and PTG Little Caesar. The two of you started second and third, but in the end, third and fourth. What do you guys have to say about your run today?
Okay, so I went with a 3-stop strat. Ultimately, I think was a little bit of a slower strat, but there was so much grip, there was so much pace on those tyres towards the end. Mead pulled out an incredible job. I think Valkyrie's just got that little edge ahead. But yeah, it was a good run overall. I don't particularly like this track either. It's not one of my strongest tracks, so I'm pretty happy with where I finished.
All right, Little Caesar, what about you?
To be fair, that was probably one of my better races in terms of pace. I made, I think, one massive mistake. Lap 6, I just absolutely clouted one of the inside curves with the corkscrew. Just about held it. I had about 2-3 offs, but I feel like I had the pace. I had the pace, but I just couldn't catch up to Father, and Valkyrie was just pulling away, so yeah. And then the first round of pit stops, I just got stuck behind about 10 people in back markers and lost chunks of time.
Yeah, it did seem like more than anyone else, you seemed to struggle the most trying to get by traffic. Like, Valkyrie would catch traffic and pass them in 2 corners. It seemed to take you 3 laps. Just seemed really rough for you to make anything with the BMW. All right, for both of you, what are your expectations for you two for the remainder of the season? I do believe you, J. Caesar, are still second in points right now with another podium, but what are your guys' expectation for the next few races?
By any occasions where if anything crops up and I can't make a race, I do expect to be able to make all the races. So that may go in my advantage to some degree. I expect to be fighting around second, third podium in the championship overall. I've got to keep my son in his place. I've got to remind him who's boss around here. You know, so there's that. But he can be a contender if he just picks up a little bit more consistency. He'll be able to push me for a position over me. He's got the pace, just more consistency than anything, which is coming on leaps and bounds for him.
All right. Great drive from both of you. And now there's one more person I want to talk to, and that's Cam Worthy. Cam, please don't take this the wrong way. I did not expect you to get a top 5 finish today. From literally lap 1 to the end, you seem to be punching way above your weight class. An incredible top 5. What do you have to say about that run today?
I will say, yeah, that race, definitely, I did not expect getting 5th. I will say qualifying within the top 8 definitely helped with positioning, because that race definitely came down to who had the best positioning, tire strategy, and also who was able to block cleanly. Because there were lots of times, and if I happened to me too, I kind of did some blocking, and then some others did up ahead. There was a lot of blocking that was going on that race because there weren't many areas you could pass in. But all in all, everyone had a great race today. It just came down to who had the best tire strategy. And I will say, like, the car did incredibly well. I did some practice before the race. I did not actually plan on racing today. I was going to do a different race. I was going to start like a few hours before this, but I couldn't get in, so I just resorted to doing this since I had to do something, and just came out in top 5, which I'm happy about that.
All right, great performance here. What are your expectations for the next few races coming up? Do you think you can replicate this top 5 result here?
Definitely not next race. I'm not gonna be showing up next race since I'm gonna be gone a ways away. So that's not happening. But I will say for the next few races coming up, I see Sebring, and Sebring I'm not gonna be able to make, but Daytona is my favorite track, and I've generally done really well in past events with it. So I'm looking for another top 5, maybe a podium in that event once it comes by.
All right, well, great job on top 5 here. Maybe podiums in the cards for you in the future. Who knows? One last person I want to talk to real quickly, SRD Shredder. Shredder, I'll make this really quick. Lap 1, it was really chaotic going uphill, and then it looked like you were the one who just shot off and missed the corkscrew altogether. What happened lap 1 there? Shredder? Okay, I'm guessing he is not here. I guess in that case, I'll go ahead and wrap up the broadcast. I've been your host for today's race, Insane Leader 13.
No.
Oh, Shredder, can you hear me now?
No, there we go, yeah.
Okay, include your audio real quick. Just one question, I'm going to wrap this up. Lap 1, very, very chaotic mess coming into the top of the corkscrew, and it looked like you just completely missed it altogether, and that derailed your event. What happened there?
I made some good ground at the start, didn't get into too much kerfuffle wave 1. I think I did an outside move on Andrew, going for the kink. I was going fine down to the corkscrew, went on the brakes, and the rear end decided to just go on strike, and it just went straight around on me and off the track, and that's where I lost 5 seconds. And then somewhere between there and lap 2, I got 2.6% engine damage, so I was up 10 horsepower down for the first 25 laps. So with that and that, the 5 seconds I lost the spin and the extra speed, that was probably about 0.6, 0.7 I was losing per lap. But if I did a pit stop, it would have been even further back because the pits are so long around here.
All right, yeah. Rough run. What's the next circuit? And is that coming next week or the week after?
Sebring, it's going to be next week.
All right, well, we'll be looking forward to the event at Sebring then. But I have been your host for today's broadcast, Insane Leader 13. Thank you very much for joining us in today's race here at Laguna Seca, as we're going to go from one state that borders the Pacific Ocean to a state that borders the Atlantic at the old rundown airport that is Sebring. We look forward to seeing you then. Until then, farewell and goodbye.